Hey everyone, we are back with yet another podcast session. Today we have Tushar Kansal as our guest on the show. He is a founder and CEO of Consultancy Ventures. He is an accomplished professional, a thought leader, and thought influencer.
Hi Tushar, how are you?
I'm good, Shipra. How are you doing? Long time, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you so much for giving us time. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Always working with you and Srishti and Biomatics and
Yeah.
everyone back there.
Yes, thank you so much. So, for the podcast, the topic that we have chosen today is fundraising in India. As
Mhm.
you know, that India is becoming a startup nation, and the government wants to encourage the entrepreneurship, which implies plenty of new enterprises and strong capital demand. So, what do you think? Is there a sufficient supply of capital?
Well, the supply is driven by the government in short, and then it's also driven by the private sector, including the Indian investors and the foreign investors. But the big pool of money comes in from the foreign investors because they give money to venture capital funds who then put it in startups. So
Yes.
we had 436 companies registered with Startup India in 2016, and
Mm-hmm.
right now we have more than 75,000. So you are very right that they all need capital. So, if they
Yes.
want to raise capital from the government, they can go to the government and raise around 20 to 25 lakh rupees, but that will take around 10 to 12 months of time.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to raise money from angel investors, that will be faster. But again, the angel investors based out of India, they put small money, 5 lakh rupees to 40 lakh rupees. But if they want to raise money from angel investors who have dollar earnings or who earn abroad, they are able to put in 2 to 4 crore rupees per
Yes.
person. And if they want to raise money from venture capital funds, then of course, there is no bar to how much amount they can raise. It can be $1 million to 25, $50 million, depending on the stage of the company and the size of the company. So I agree with you that the capital is an issue. So having the right consultant and mentor and the investment bank by our side is super critical.
Yes. So, what do you think that 2020 will look like for the fund managers, the potential that they have, or the obstacles, and the adjustments needed to help the India fund managers? What is your take on that? What do you feel?
I feel that right now global economies are facing a lot of problems. US is in a recession. Europe and Japan are seeing a lot of problems, and China has its own side of problems because of the lockdowns. India is a sea of calm amongst a turbulent world, and we are still having a very tidy growth rate on the GDP, and that shows in the stock market, which has not fallen below 60,000 and is still at the highs. And the
Yes.
inflation is also under control. So, from the point of view of monetary policy by the Reserve Bank of India, there are not much constraints. So, having said that, India will continue to outperform other economies. There will be some short-term blips because 90% of our oil is imported. That requires for a lot of forex dollars by
Yes.
the government, and because of that, we need to have a good exports, or we need to have good FDI, foreign direct investment. So if there is a problem in that front, maybe the inflation becomes a problem, and then Reserve Bank of India might have to increase the interest rates. So some little bit of maybe 6 to 10 months of pain might be there next year. Otherwise, I don't see any problem. The fund managers are sitting with huge amount of money, and they're expecting better valuations because of the funding winter. And money is there for the right promoters, the right companies with exciting and genuine technology.
Yes. And having the patience, right patience to actually have that one opportunity at the right moment is something that I feel for all the startup founders to wait and actually grab that one opportunity that's coming their door. So
Absolutely. You have to continue hustling, and for the investor also, out of 10 companies, the investor puts in money. Even if one or two companies go out and become multi-baggers, the
yes,
overall return on the portfolio is good.
good,
So,
yes,
I would advise all these startup founders to keep on hustling, but also always keep on learning. And Google is there, YouTube is there, a lot of content on YouTube, on video content is out there for very cheap or for free. So keep on learning, keep on meeting new people, exchange ideas, and also ask the right questions so that people can give you the right answers.
yes. There
And
are
that will enable all the startup founders to tide this moment through.
Yes, and there are certain events also that keep on happening in India where the founder and the investors actually can come up and meet up together and discuss their business ideas with them and gain their help at that given point of time so that they can accelerate their business growth and take it up to the next level. So these events, when they're coming up, as there is one event coming that's coming on 16th of November that's been hosted by Paomatics. That is also a great event where founders and investors can come together and discuss the future potential possibilities to take India to the next level of business and the growth.
Absolutely. The Paomatics event, which is coming on 16th at Crown Plaza at Mayur Vihar, is going to be bombastic.
Yes.
I've never seen such a buzz around any event in which the ticket window has closed and people are falling over each other to make it to the event. A lot of very prominent investors and names of the industry are going to be there. So, I will invite all my network, by the startup founders and investors to do come in. Let's catch up. And there's going to be a lot of interactions and very exciting way of meeting the right people.
Yes. So I just have one more question for you. That is the future. As you know, the future lies on how well you conquer your hurdles. The most difficult of which is finding the right investor, finding the proper investor who you can actually convince to take your firm to a next level, and having quite a challenging relationship with the investor, but accelerating it to the next level. So what do you think? What is your take on that? The relationship between the founders and the investor, how it's actually you can take it to a better level to build it up in a all new together new way.
That's a very good question, Shipra. So basically, I feel there has to be empathy for both, for the both of them. So the founder has to know that the investor is working on very strict performance parameters. He has borrowed money which he needs to give back, making a return in the process. So the investor is wants growth, and if you have taken money from the investor, it is under a certain shareholders agreement in which you have promised him to give a certain return. So, that is the empathy which founder should have for the investor. On the other hand, the investor should have the empathy for the founder, that the founder needs business relationships. He also needs follow on investment money, and he also needs domain knowledge.
Yeah.
So, the investor should make it easier for the founder by getting him to meet the right people in the industry, by getting him to know about the best practices followed by other companies, and by also giving access to business relationships. And the relationships can be on the business side or maybe on the other consulting side. So, the role of a mentor or a consultant is very important in this process as well.
I feel that the investors can only take just a specific amount of risk.
Right.
So, what do you feel? What actually goes through their concept, and what do they feel about taking the risk and helping them or building a relationship or make for boasting them their enthusiasm and mentoring them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the investor is someone who has seen a number of companies, so he knows the pain points,
Yes.
and he can also identify the gaps that where the founder is making a mistake. So I've seen venture capital funds call the founders of all their investee companies, brainstorm over a informal atmosphere, and one such venture capital fund used to take people to the ashram of Neem Karoli Baba, which was followed by Steve Jobs and Mark
Yes.
Zuckerberg. And in that ashram, in a very informal setting in the evening, they used to really discuss about what drives the founders. And passion for getting something for the customer which nobody else is getting. They used to build a drive towards that. And all these things, I agree fully with you that it is also the investor's responsibility to handhold the founder, because the founder is doing it for the first time and it is lonely at the top. So he
Yes.
needs a lot of help and advice.
I feel the relationship that the founder and the investor has will be these events coming up, and the events and the networking that's coming up can actually bridge the gap between them and break the ice, so that whenever they want to have a one-on-one conversation, it'd be much easier for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I will again, thank you for having this great event which is coming, and it is always, very exciting to be at Biomatics events, and also the platform which Biomatics has created. I always have good wishes for the company, and
Thank
I
you so much.
call all the investors and founders to come over. Let's sit together, thrash out our minds, and have a nice drink also.
Yes. Thank you so much, Tushar. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Shipra. Have a good day. Thank
Have
you
a
so much.
great day. Thank you.
Thank you all for listening this insightful podcast. Get the opportunity to grow and build your network with us alongside a cocktail dinner. Founder Investor Networking event will be held in 16th of November from 7 p.m. onwards at Crown Plaza, Mayur Vihar, New Delhi. Register today and book your seat.